అవును సార్, అది ఎన్నిసార్లు అంతే నేను ఈ విషయం అవుతుంది ఇక్కడ వచ్చేదో అంటాను.
ఏదైనా వీడియో పెట్టాలి, ఏదైనా వీడియో
It's already 10 to 5. Let's start the meeting. Uma madam. Hello. ఇది కాలేజ్
ఇది కాలేజ్ అంటే కాలేజ్
ఇది కాదు మీ దగ్గర ప్రిన్సిపల్ ఇంకోటి ఉండాలి మీ దగ్గర క్లీన్ గా ఆపారు అక్కడ మేడం దగ్గర షేరింగ్ మేడం దగ్గర మేడం దగ్గర ఉంది Yes, sir. అది మార్చేస్తాను సార్. నాకు ఇదే సరిపోయింది. వెబినార్ మస్తు టైం పట్టింది. మార్చేస్తాను.
Good morning, everyone. Nityanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadrusam Tattvamakshadevirlaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalam Achalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Satgurum Tam Namami. Good morning to everyone. I am very happy to announce your participation in the second day's orientation program. The first day was induction day celebration, and today your orientation class is going to start with a very eminent speaker, Sri.M.Nagaraju garu. I welcome Sri.M.Nagaraju garu in our midst. I also welcome our director, Dr. J. Nageswarrao garu, and also our principal also, and all the other dignitaries who are present today, along with all the students. Today's session is about etiquette for online classes. In the new normal of today, we are not meeting in the physical classroom, but we are online learning something new, at the same time trying to understand the nitty-gritty of being online and maintaining our discipline and concentration. We all understand that there are many problems in logging in from home, internet data collection, communication problem, all the technical nitty-gritty that are there. At the same time, your lack of atmosphere may not be that motivating for you. But however, in this new normal where we have to fight, we are going to do it with success. And to tell how to do that, today's speaker will be telling us about the etiquettes of online classes. I welcome Kavita Varak Madam to introduce today's speaker, Sri.M.Nagaraju garu.
Good morning, everybody. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce M.Nagaraju garu. M.Nagaraju garu taught English language and literature to graduate and postgraduate students at various colleges till he retired from government service in 2012 as a section grade lecturer in English. Earlier, he served as principal of a postgraduate college for 5 years. He was a conscientious and popular teacher for over 36 years, with the additional responsibilities of student advisor for 12 years, discipline committee convener for 9 years, and college annual magazine chief editor for 14 years. He organized more than 15 educational tours across the length and breadth of the country. He made innovative efforts to make learning an interesting and enjoyable experiment for his students. He is a master trainer in communicative language teaching techniques certified by the US State Department English Language Fellow Program. He has on the panel of trainers for APSHE, AFHRDI, IIT, CCEAP, AP Judicial Academy, CELT, TSWREI, EEI, and several groups of educational institutions. He has organized more than 100 training workshops for English lecturers working in engineering colleges, degree colleges, and polytechnic colleges. He co-authored and edited 4 textbooks for university and polytechnic students and designed other learning materials. Mr. Raju, a popular resource person in communication skills, soft skills, and employability skills, has been invited to speak on various educational forums and workshops, including UGC-sponsored orientation and refreshers courses and national seminars. He has presented more than 50 TV lessons for degree and intermediate students. His contribution and commitment have earned him many rewards and recognition. Mr. Raju is a life member of Lions Club International. He pioneered intraocular lens implementation surgical eye camps in rural areas and established a world record at a camp at SDI Hospital, Hyderabad, where 324 eye surgeries were performed on a single day. You will be surprised to know that the event was acknowledged by the Guinness Book of World Records. He organized over 50 eye surgical camps, 100 blood donation camps, 25 health screening camps, and 100 awareness programs to benefit thousands of people. He has been passionately promoting organ transplantation and organ personality motivated the donation of 5 pairs of eyes. He has donated blood 72 times. He was 4-time chief editor of the Lions District Directory and was founder editor of an in-house journal, Lions Update, that has been published for 25 years now. Mr. Raju is a founder trustee of Dr. K.V. Reddy Memorial Lion Eye Hospital and is a trustee of many other charity establishments. Mr. Raju held many important positions in Lionism, including that of District Cabinet Secretary, District Cabinet Treasurer, and Region Chairperson. He is a product of Senior Leadership Institute and has graduated from the renowned Faculty Development Excellence Series of Lions Club International and has organized innumerable training workshops for district and club officers. He won almost every award that a lion can dream of. He has received the much coveted International President's Leadership Award 3 times, the most prestigious International President's Medal 3 times, the Sought After Lifetime Achievement Award twice, and the Esteemed Lion of the Year Award 3 times. He received an all-paid invitation to the 92nd Lions International Convention in Minneapolis, USA, in recognition of his contribution to leadership and growth. He personally donated $5,000 to the cause of combating blindness and has been nominated a Progressive Melvin Joan Fellow. With this motivational introduction and inspiring thoughts, I would like to welcome Mr. Nagaraju Garu. Thank you.
Thank you, Kavita. Do we go ahead with the program or are we waiting for
Good morning, Nagaraj sir.
Good morning, Head Principal here. How are you?
Oh, Nagaraj sir. Fine, sir. Thank you. Thank you for accepting our invitation and speaking to our students, because always your blessings are needed for our students. So these are all first year students. I think you know very well. Uma Madam has told you. Yes. And they don't know how to use even their mouse also. So you know very well what they need for the better performance while listening their classes. Because these students are from intermediate, they had enjoyed the last 7-8 months from March onwards till now. They did not even. I don't think they have touched their textbook. Just they have the marks in intermediate. They got the seats in our college. In our college also, nearly 90% seats are filled. Only few seats are available for the 5th options. They are going to. Government is going to announce very soon. So they may join, and 100% admissions will be there every year in our college. Sir. And not only that, students need this type of orientations and inductions, especially first years. Once they are good in their attendance and attention and discipline, I think they can achieve their goals very soon. So I request you, sir, to be in touch. We will be in touch with you every time. I think last year, you remember, we had very big program in our Sardar Patel Hall, and like that, it was inspiring for all of us also. So this year also, we will be in touch with you. As soon as the physical classes are going to be started, we will be inviting you, sir. So please be with us and please bless our students, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Principal.
Sir, you can start with the session.
Oh, great. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. Let me just take half a minute to start this. Yeah, I'm going to the slideshow. Right. Good morning, everybody. I must first of all thank the principal for giving me this wonderful opportunity this morning to share some of my thoughts with you. Not only has he invited me here, but also has made my job easier by telling me the expectation. He told me about what this program is, what is expected during this presentation, what is the initial entry-level skills of the students that I am addressing, and a few other points that he has made. I think that makes my job a little easier. I must also thank Uma for taking this initiative and also for inviting me. She briefed me yesterday and the day before, and she has constantly been in touch with me, and she has given me a very clear idea of what this talk is about and what expectations they have. Then I must thank Kavita also for introducing me in all those 5 words. Thank you, Kavita. Thank you, Uma. Thank you, Principal Garu. Thank you, everybody. Okay, let's go on. The topic is etiquette for online classes. I think you understand that. Etiquette for online classes. The principal said, you do not know much about the panel. You do not know much about how to use all those controls on the Zoom panel. And maybe many of you are not very familiar with the technology that's now being used, right, for these online classes. Okay, let's take a look at some of these things. But before that, what is this etiquette? Does anybody know? Etiquette is good manners. What is good from the social point of view? There are 2 kinds of things that we do. We have a private life, we have a public life. When we are in private, we can be all by ourselves, we can do whatever we want, we can behave the way we want, or we can dress ourselves the way we want, we can eat, and there are lots of things that allow us a lot of freedom. But when we are in public, when we are in society, there are certain standards, certain guidelines, certain rules that we need to follow because the society expects us to behave in a certain way. So that is etiquette. Etiquette is good manners, some guidelines for our social life, for our life outside our home. So that's exactly what we are going to discuss when you are on Zoom, when you are on any other similar platform. Because of this pandemic situation, we are not able to hold regular physical brick and mortar classes. That physical classroom that we used to have earlier is not possible right now. Maybe in a few months, perhaps it's going to be possible. But right now, we are online. We are seeing each other on our systems, on our mobiles, right, in the virtual world. So what is good behavior here? That's what we are going to discuss. Okay, let's take a look at this. Etiquette on the net is also called netiquette. This is a new word. Netiquette is net plus etiquette. Some people call it netiquette. That's a lovely word. I think you can learn this word. You can begin by learning a new word today. Etiquette plus the etiquette that's applicable to the net, internet, is netiquette. Okay, when we are staying home, when we are thinking about learning something about netiquette, I just would like to begin by asking you this very simple question. Are you ready for this class? But how do you tell me? You are all muted. You cannot unmute yourselves. You cannot speak into the microphone. I think the system does not allow that today. Maybe tomorrow when Zoom classes begin, perhaps you can do that. But this is Zoom webinar. This is not Zoom meeting. So on Zoom webinar, all of you are muted. No student can speak unless specifically allowed. So how do you tell me whether you are ready or not? So please go to chat box. There is a chat window at the bottom on your panel. Whether you are using a mobile phone or a laptop, there is a chat window. You can click that chat window. And if you think you are ready for the class, you can just say YES, yes, or the letter S. Even the letter S is enough for me. If you just say the letter S, I understand that you are ready. I think there are about 250 students already who have joined. I want everybody to use the chat box. So this is your first learning today. So can you use the chat box and tell me that, oh, wonderful, wonderful, that's really good. I think it's scrolling really very fast. I see hundreds of responses. Great. Yes, yes, sir. Yes, wonderful, 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 wonderful. Oh, I think you are familiar with the chat box already. And I'm also happy that you are ready for the class. Good. Oh, young, energetic, enthusiastic response from all of you. Wonderful. I'm so very happy to see your response. Continue being active like this. Okay? Shall we move on? Again, a yes? Good. Let's move on. Okay, what I'll do is, I'll just tell you a few of the rules in brief and I'll explain them to you in detail. So whenever we think of virtual classes, a few things that we need to remember. I put them in two separate installments. The first installment of the rules relate to our behavior on the net. So rule number one is be punctual. Wear some kind of a dress I'll talk to you about very soon. Video on, not now, but maybe other Zoom classes, regular classes when they start. Use the chat box very carefully. Be courteous, be polite. And also, lastly, avoid doing too many things at the same time, multitasking in these contexts. Let's see each one of them one after another in detail. Be on time. I mean, what does it make any sense when you are online, when you are not actually participating in a class like this physically, when I cannot see you, but you can see me? Is it really important that you should be there on time? Is time really so important? Suppose you come 10 minutes late, 15 minutes late, or maybe half an hour late, or maybe sometimes almost before the class is over, or sometimes after the class is over. Who cares? Who is there to watch you? Maybe you think, oh, the teacher does not even know whether I have come or not. In a physical class, the teacher can take a head count and say, oh, this fellow is not there. Or maybe she takes attendance and then says, oh, that student is absent today. Or maybe if you come late, she can punish you and tell you, okay, if you have come 5 minutes late, don't come into my class. Some such thing is possible there. But here who bothers whether if you come late? Now, let me make one point very clear right at this point in the beginning. You have chosen to do a course which is of regular nature. I think all of you know that a BA, a BCom, a BSc or any such course can be done multiple ways now. When we studied long ago, there was only one way. If I wanted to do a BSc, I had to join a college. I had to go to class every day, maybe 90, 100% attendance I had to put in. I had to write the year-end examinations. I had to pass and I had to earn a degree. But today it's not like that. Today you can do a BCom degree, for instance. You can join a BCom course either in a regular college or a distance course. Some university somewhere, perhaps in Delhi or somewhere else, is there, and then you can join, and without going to that university ever, without even knowing where that university is physically located, without ever attending any one physical class, you can take a degree there. Then there are MOOCs, then there are open universities. There are lots of different streams available to you today. So let me begin by asking you a very important question. Have you joined this Keshav Memorial College? just to pass time, just to spend 3 years and earn a degree, or you want to make a real difference by taking the advantage that's available in physical classes or virtual classes. What is not available in distance education? What's not available in open universities? There is something that's available only in regular colleges and universities. Have you come here to take advantage of that? If that is the purpose, if that's why you have come here, there is all the reason why you should attend classes in time. If you don't want to come in time, perhaps you can join a distance education course. Why here? There's no point in paying fees and then unnecessarily, being blamed for going late or any such thing. Better join an open university. Better join a MOOC course or join something else where attendance is not compulsory. So you have chosen to do a course on the physical platform, the regular platform. You want to be a regular student. You want to earn a certificate that does not say online course, that says that you have been a part of a regular college or university. Then don't wait for somebody to supervise you. Don't wait for somebody to constantly monitor you. Don't wait for somebody to come and tell you, oh, you are 2 minutes late today. Please do this, please do that. I'll not allow you. I'll allow you, some such thing. Who should supervise you? I don't think there should be any need, any time in your life for anybody to supervise you. You must ask yourself, if you join this course, you must be the best here. So what are some easy ways of keeping time? One is all of you are familiar with the scheduler on your mobile phones. I think most of you use mobile phones, smartphones, laptops, diaries, and lots of other, even if your calendar, whatever, right? Whatever you have. So use it as a scheduler. Tomorrow, 10:30, I have to attend this class. You can schedule that. If you schedule that, what happens? 5 minutes before, there is an alarm, there is a notification, there is a vibration, there is a ring or something. So you know, oh, 10:30, I have to attend a class. Let me get ready. So if you have the habit of forgetting, or if you are preoccupied with other things, some of you may be working, some of you may be engaged in other family chores. Well, that's good actually, in case you are earning a little money for your family while you are a student. That's great, I appreciate that. But this also is important. So use a scheduler, right? Schedule your time. One who plans one's time has plenty of time. Only those people who do not know how to schedule their time, how to plan their time, how to plan their programs, they are the people who always say, oh, I don't have time. Right? So use a scheduler. Always arrive early. I think 10 o'clock today, the class was supposed to start. It started maybe 5-6 minutes late, maybe because of some technical reason. I don't know why. There were already some students asking on the chat. I was watching the chat box. There were at least a dozen of you asking, ma'am, when will the class start? When will the class start? When will the class? That question was being posted there. I was watching. I was very happy. So students are so anxious. They would like to know. They have been waiting already. They have logged in, and maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes before some of you logged in, and you're waiting for the class. That's really wonderful. The same enthusiasm must continue throughout your 3 years here while you are here in the college. Let it continue. Every day you must feel like that. Yes, we are waiting for the class. That's good. I think some of you logged in as early as 9:30, 9:35. I saw some 30, 35 people when I logged in. I logged in at about 9:40, 9:45, I think. By then already some 40, 50 students were there. That's really good. That should not be initial enthusiasm. It should be enthusiasm forever. So always arrive for your classes a little early, at least 5 minutes early, because sometimes what happens in the last minute, something goes wrong. In the last minute, some control does not work. Some microphone has some difficulty. Some headphone gives you some issue. That's why arrive in time a little early. And the last two are very important. Be there throughout. When I attend programs like this, sometimes what happens is there are 260 students at the beginning of the class. And after 1 hour, it becomes 200. After 1.5 hours, it becomes 100. And towards the end of the class, it becomes 50. That's very bad. You've come to a class to attend the class, to learn from the class, to benefit from the class, to ask a question, to participate, to get involved, to learn. If you leave in the middle or if you leave sometime earlier than the class is over, I think you are missing something. I told you, you have to schedule your time in such a way that you don't miss any part of it. Usually, the last part of the class is always a little more interesting, a little more interactive. Questions are invited, answers are given. All that is much more useful than sometimes the class itself. So, please don't leave in the middle. Please don't leave before the teacher leaves. Right? And especially in a physical class, what happens? Sometimes I get this question when I was working in a college. That was long ago. I retired maybe 8 years ago from government service. When I used to work in a college, in a government college in rural areas, of course, the bell would be rung. So 10:50, first period is over and the bell would be rung. And as soon as the bell is rung, sometimes even before the bell is rung, the students would pack up and the students would rise from their seats, the students would begin leaving, etc. I used to ask myself, is this bell for the students or for somebody else? Who is the bell for? Is the bell for students? I don't think the bell is for students. The bell is for the teacher. The bell is to tell the teacher, your time is over, the next teacher is coming, and the next teacher is waiting outside. Perhaps it's time for you to leave, or maybe takes the next class. Your class is over only when the teacher in your class leaves, or when she tells you, okay, now the class is over, students, perhaps you can leave. When she permits you to leave. Till then the class is over. Sometimes some teachers perhaps continue maybe a few minutes into the next class because of some reason they cannot finish it a few minutes before. So your class, for students, the class is over only when the teacher leaves, not when the bell is rung. The bell is rung to remind the teacher it's time. Now you should either wind up or you must have already wound up and then you must leave now. So please stay throughout the class till the end of the class. I'll see there are 260 people now. I'll see how many people will remain in the class till the end today. I think this class is likely to close at 11:30. Let's see how many students perhaps will take that very seriously. So stay throughout. Don't leave before. So these are some guidelines that you must keep in mind when you come to online classes. So that was my first rule, I think. I don't need to go into any more details to tell you how important your time is, the teacher's time is, the college's time is, the schedule is, everything. Right. The second one, dress appropriately. And some of you may say, sir, is there need to tell us this also, sir? We know how to dress ourselves. But surprisingly, some of you do not know it happens in physical classes as well as in virtual classes. In physical classes, sometimes students come either insufficiently dressed or excessively dressed or indecently dressed or maybe provocatively dressed, and all kinds of things happen. The same thing can happen online also. Again, luckily for you, today the cameras are off. You're not allowed to switch on your cameras. But if I were taking a Zoom class, I would insist on students having their cameras on. Usually, I do not allow my students in Zoom classes also to switch off their cameras. I insist till all of you have your cameras on. I don't start my class. I want to see you. I want you to see me. Right? So when the cameras are on, how should we be dressed? We must be dressed decently. So some formal kind of dress, or at least semi-formal. Suppose you are wearing a t-shirt, at least a t-shirt with a collar, a pocket, something that makes it look good. A collarless t-shirt or maybe a bunion, a vest. I mean, it does not look good, no? Maybe others also are watching you. The teacher is watching you. Friends are watching you. I mean, even if you have 2 pairs of clothes, you can keep them clean and then you can keep them neat. Maybe if necessary, you can press them yourself. And you can avoid all kinds of... Some students I have seen on camera, so very flashy, bright colors that it's some kind of a glare on the eye. The teacher gets frightened by seeing that kind of that dark red, some kinds of colors, no? They are too very dazzling on the eye. So when you have the screen and the light on that bright red color, for instance, you are wearing shirt in that color. You know, some people have that fluorescent colors like that. Municipal sweepers are sometimes gifted some kind of dress so that, I mean, they can avoid unfortunate accidents in the dark. So they start sweeping roads very early in the morning. And sometimes students wear that kind of t-shirts, very bright colors, flashing. Please avoid that. Right? Avoid flashy colors, bright colors. Don't overdress. Don't dress, I mean, dress just enough for the occasion. So what are you? You are a teacher, you are a student, and whatever you for the occasion, appropriate. If you go to a party, your dress is different. If you come to a class, your dress is different. Now look at these one or two pictures. So these people are dressed only the upper half. The upper half, because they are facing the camera, the upper half is a little misleading here. This is perhaps okay because nobody is seeing you. I mean, the bottom half, perhaps people are not watching you. It's okay. But sometimes it can put you to some risk. Recently, I'll tell you one incident. It happened in a senior citizens program I was addressing. This was about a few months ago. I was invited to the program and then I addressed. There were about 50 people, all senior citizens. And then they attended the program. They were all dressed really well. I liked it and then I addressed them. The program was over. Suddenly, I mean, deviating from the agenda, they announced there is going to be national anthem. The moment the national anthem was announced, everybody stood up. So many of them were in pajamas, many of them were in lungis, and they were not properly dressed. And then because they had to stand up, they did not switch off the cameras. So it looked very odd. So this kind of things can happen if we are not properly prepared. It's better if we are fully dressed. What's the advantage if we are fully dressed? I mean, see the feeling that you have when you are best dressed. How is your feeling? How do you feel on a festival day? Suppose you bought a pair of new clothes, you wear the new clothes. How do you feel inside? Very happy. That day, your spirits are jubilant in a new dress, right? Why? Because sometimes the dress gives you that emotion, that gives you that feeling. And suppose you are attending a class, if you are not fully well dressed, automatically there is something working on your mind all through. Oh, I'm not fully, I cannot stand, I cannot move here, I cannot do that, I cannot do this. So I can show only this half. So this kind of things are possibly happening. To avoid that, it's better if you are fully dressed and well dressed. And again, before this program began, I was watching the names of the participants. Fortunately, I think Keshav Memorial must have already built some good rules and regulations for the students. About 95% of you have logged in with your names. That's really good. I'm happy. But there are still some 5% of you, some 10 people, 20 people who have not mentioned their names there. They have a number, they have they are anonymous. They have put some 2 dashes there. I've seen at the top, some 2 or 3 people are there who have put a dash against their name. And there are some people who put some number against their name. It's very easy to change your name. In case Zoom shows the name of your telephone instead of your name, it does not take much time. You can just go there, right click there, rename. There is a provision to rename. If you rename yourself, your name will be shown. And when you write your name, you need not write the initial. You must write the name spelling correct. You must write the name as you would like people to call you. You may have a long name. You need not write the entire name. What do you like people to call you? What do you like your teacher to call you? Maybe you can choose that part of the name and you can mention it. I'm just going to this participants list again. I think some of you have already corrected. There is still somebody who has just 2 dashes for the name. And there is just 024 DSNR that you can remove, and then you can just say Akhileshwar can remove that 024. And there is one more. Bhavesh Tolani can remove that number before. There are some people like that. Maybe you do not know. I don't find fault with you. Some of you do not know how to rename yourselves. Plus, you can do that. So please show your name. Not only here, not only the college. Whenever you go to a meeting, it's always good. You cannot hide your name. Unless you have some scheme in your mind, and then unless you want to create some trouble somewhere. I think your name is not, for instance, you go to a physical class. Does not the college insist that you must have the ID card on? Almost all colleges have ID card. The ID card must be prominently displayed. Tomorrow you go to a job, you get a job and then you join a company. Will they allow you without disclosing your name? Suppose you say, okay, I don't want this badge is not good, I don't like it, I'll throw it away and go to office. Will they even allow you to enter the office? Impossible. So your name is not something that you must hide. Name must be prominently displayed with the right spelling. Right? Even if you put a full stop, whether there should be a space after that or not. Right? You must know how many capital letters there. Suppose your name is Jyoti Rani. Is it 2 words or 1 word? J capital or not? How is your name in your certificates? So find out and then write your name. Right. Suppose I'm Nagaraju. I've written my name Nagaraju. Suppose I'm called Raju by people. Maybe I can write Raju. Okay. So depending on how you would like your name to be pronounced and said, use that. Then this is very important. There are some students who unknowingly, they share the link the college has given to a non-student. The college has given a link to a class, right? You have a physics class tomorrow and the college sends you a link for the physics class and you give it to a friend of yours who is not a student of your college. Suppose he logs in. Of course, most colleges have some guidelines on that, some way to check that and some way to prevent that. But if he by chance joins a class unknowingly, sometimes even without, you did not do it deliberately, but by mistake you did it. So you have got a right to receive this link. Others do not have any such right. Somebody who has not joined the class. Unless you have the principal's permission or some other reason to invite anybody, unless I think if there is a procedure for that, you follow that. Otherwise, I don't think you should invite anybody at all. Right? For instance, can you take a friend of yours to your physical class? Will the college allow that? No. The same rule applies here also. Right? There is a link called a screen share there. That's not for you. By any chance, if the admin did not disable it, sometimes it happens by oversight, the admin might not have disabled it. So you cannot share the screen. The share screen is for the teachers. Of course, suppose tomorrow you have presentations, student presentations. The students are invited to make presentations online. Then you will have that enabled. You can share your, like I am sharing my screen today. Whatever I have on my screen, I cannot see anything on my screen except my slide. All that I see, 100% of my screen is only my slideshow, nothing else. You might be able to see a few things. Maybe you are able to see not only me, not only the slideshow, maybe a few other faces and other things as well, but I cannot see it. Okay? So, screen sharing is not for the non-presenters. Then, I have seen it many times happening. Students misusing the drawing tools. While the lesson is going on, they draw a line there, they write their name there, or they write thank you there on the screen. Disturbing, distracting everybody. That should never happen. Please remember that that's bad manners. That's not good etiquette. Right? Please, yes, of course, because I have been making lots of presentations, I know the rule, I know how to disable that. You cannot do that now. Nobody can write on my screen, even if you try, because that's disabled. You cannot use that. But in a regular classroom, teachers, in all good faith, may enable that. They would like students also to participate in the class. For instance, some mathematics class is going on. A teacher invites a student to draw on the board and then make some additional entries and discuss. And at that time, because you are given a right to use the board, you should not misuse it. Again, look at the physical class. Suppose you go to a physical class and when the teacher is not there, suppose you write something on the screen, something on the blackboard, something offensive, I think it can easily be found out and then you can be punished also. In fact, the board is meant for the teacher or for the students in the teacher's presence. Do you understand? The board can be used by the teachers, or in the presence of the teachers, students also can use it if invited. But the board should not be used when the teacher is not there, or to write something offensive. So screen sharing, drawing tools, etc. must be used extremely carefully. So all the time you think that if there was somebody watching me, would I do this? Would I still do it if the teacher is watching me? Only such things can be done. If you are ashamed of doing it, if you're found, don't do that. Be careful. Maybe I'll make 1 or 2 points about this a little later once again. Okay, the simple, easiest rule to remember when you are in real classes. This is, of course, an orientation program happening on Zoom webinar. I think your regular classes will happen in Zoom meeting. In Zoom meeting, your cameras will be on. But you can switch off your cameras, you can switch on your cameras, you can switch off your microphone, you can switch on your microphone. Look at this left panel here. So there is this red line. So if this red line is seen, your microphone does not work. What you speak or what the noise that's heard is not audible to others. And if it is that red line is not here, it means whatever noise is heard in your room can be heard by the whole class, everybody, everywhere. So it's always a good idea to switch off the audio, but the camera, I think, must be on. Like in a physical class again. In a physical class, you don't make noise. But at the same time, you don't sit in the next room and tell the teacher, "Madam, I'll sit in the next room, please teach." Is that possible? No, the teacher must have a physical eye-to-eye contact with you. You must be able to see the teacher, so that that physical presence, that eye contact, that body language, that visual presentation makes much more impact. If you're not there, how can I teach you? It's difficult, right? And one more thing, when you are seated in front of your system, and if you are listening to a class, of course, again, when the cameras are on, make it a habit. This is for teachers also. Many teachers also perhaps have difficulty in doing this at the beginning. Teachers and students, what should you do? You must look at where the camera is. See, there are 2 ways. You can just look at my face now. I'm doing 2 things. 1, I'm looking at the camera. 2, I'm looking at the screen. So if I look at the screen, what happens? I lose eye contact with you, you lose eye contact with me. I am looking all over but not looking at you. But if I look at the camera, you think I am looking at you. You feel that I am teaching you. So teachers must practice this. This comes with a little practice. Teachers must practice this. Students also must practice this. Even if you are using a phone, for instance, to log into your class, suppose you have a phone, the phone has a camera, usually at the top, left, right, middle, wherever. So try to look at the camera instead of looking at the screen. Of course, the screen has something happening there. There is a slide there. The teacher's face is there. You need to look at the screen also, but as frequently as possible, look at the camera. Okay? When you look at the camera, some people don't know how to use that properly. What do? They don't know how to sit, how to stand, and they don't know the right positioning, and they have all kinds of difficulties. Okay, suppose you don't switch off the microphone. The microphone is not switched off. What are the dangers? Just watch this video. This is a very interesting comic 2-minute video. Just watch this and then we'll discuss this.
Oh, తిరుగుబాట ఇలాంటప్పుడు ఏం చేయాలి?
ఇప్పుడు పిల్లల సంరక్షణ గురించి తల్లులకి కుమారి నాగమణి గారు ప్రసంగిస్తారు.
పిల్లలు కాదర్రా, పిల్లులు. పిల్లలు.
6 నిమ్మకాయలు తెచ్చి బాగా స్నానం చేయించి ఇప్పుడు
మనం రేడియోలో బామ్మర్ గారు చెప్పినట్టు చేద్దాం. అంతే కదా.
కొబ్బరి నూనె తెచ్చుకుని మెల్లగా
నీకు జుట్టు లేదు కదమ్మా. రేయ్, గాడి-
పాపకి చక్కగా చిక్కు తీసి దువ్వుతో జడ అల్లాలి.
నో,
రిబ్బన్నుతో
అమ్మ
ముడి
కాదు,
వేయాలి.
డాడీ
పూలు
డాడీ అని ఏడు.
జడలా తురమాలి.
ఏడు.
సింగిల్ రోజాతో ఉంచిన పిల్లలు ఏడవడం సహజం. బాలానాం రోదనం బలం. అంటే పిల్లలకు ఏడుపే బలం. కానీ మనం పట్టించుకోకూడదు. ఇప్పుడు చాకు తీసుకుని సగానికి నిలువున నరికి బాగా కలిపిన ఉప్పు కారం పరపర రాసి డాడీ చంపేస్తావా?
ఉండు, నువ్వు కంగారు పడకు, నన్ను పెట్టకు. డోంట్ పానిక్, డోంట్ పానిక్, డోంట్ పానిక్. చాలు చాలు చాలు, ఇంకా చాలు. డబ్బా అక్కడ పెట్టు. దా. ఒరే బ్రదరు, ప్లీజ్ నన్ను కాస్త కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ చేయని.
ప్రొద్దుటే చన్నీళ్లతో స్నానం
చేయించాను తల్లి.
ఉతికిన బట్టలు
వేసామండి.
తగినంత ఉప్పు కలిపిన ముక్కల్ని 3వ రోజున జాడీలో పెట్టి మూత పెట్టాలి. ఇలా చేస్తే ఉప్పు కలిపిన పుల్లగా కాగా చాలా కాలం ఉంటాయి.
I think that was a comic clip. This was in Telugu. Some of you perhaps, I'm not sure if you understand enough Telugu to follow that. Maybe that's okay. But what I'd like to tell you is, suppose the teacher is speaking in the class and some student suddenly switches on the microphone and he also speaks. Some other student also switches on the microphone and says something else. If all of you are speaking together, some confusion like this can happen. So never speak or never switch on your microphone except when you are allowed by your teacher. Typically, there is an admin. The admin does it. Today, one Mr. Jalandhar is the admin here. He has been of great help to me. I called him in the morning and then he told me a few things and then he helped me with 1 or 2 things. And so in case I need his support, he is readily available to me. So the teacher also has the support of an admin, or the teacher herself can do that. And whenever, suppose you raise your hand, the teacher can unmute you. When she unmutes you, you can speak into the microphone. Otherwise, you should not unmute yourself and suddenly intervene and speak. That's bad manners. In fact, when somebody is speaking, intervening and interrupting and unnecessarily saying something while there is somebody else speaking, I think if you learn these little things, tomorrow they are going to be helpful to you if you are invited for an interview, if you are invited for a group discussion, or if you have to go through those phases. What you learn here is going to be useful to you even during your job interviews. Suppose during an interview, somebody asks a question. Before the question is asked, you start answering, you get negative marks. Suppose in a group discussion, you take all the time, you don't allow others to speak, you get negative marks. So be very cautious. Using the microphone must be a lot of careful, right? You must use care. You must be very careful while switching on and switching off the cameras. You can switch on the camera 2 different ways. One, you can go to that icon there and you can click on that. That turns green or that red line disappears and you can begin speaking. And as soon as you finish, once again click the microphone so that that red line appears. The mic is muted and whatever noise happens in your room will not be heard by others. The second way is there is a space bar on your keyboard if you log in from a laptop, not from a mobile phone. So if you have logged in from a laptop, there is a space bar. If you press and hold the space bar, the microphone automatically unmutes. You can speak as long as you want. Once you finish speaking, you can release the space bar so that it again gets muted. So if you want to speak only for a few seconds, for instance, you can use the second kind anyway, whichever is convenient to you. Okay, let's move on. Right. So coming to a few other things about the camera. There are lots of things that must not be done on camera. What are those things that should not be done on the camera? The first thing is many students during regular classes have the habit of switching off cameras very conveniently. They're happy because the teacher cannot see them. They can do whatever they want. They can sit in whatever posture they want, or maybe they can just move away. The camera is turned off. So they deliberately turn the camera towards the ceiling or toward the floor or away. Some such thing. So the picture that you see on the left side here is a class that I took maybe about 2 weeks ago. This was for university teachers, management lecturers. So I told them very specifically that all cameras must be on, all cameras must be on. University teachers. And there was one camera that was not on here, and then instead I could see a letter here. There were 1, 2 cameras that were completely switched off. There was somebody here who, instead of showing the face, has a picture there. And there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 faces that could not be seen at all, even if the cameras were on, at least a profile. And there were some partially visible. So all kinds of problems. Now, when you have the camera on, it is not just a physical aperture that's on, but what I mean is you must be physically, completely, clearly visible to your teacher. That means you must have plenty of light on your face, like I am seated now. I'm here on the top right. So you must be seated in such a position that the teacher can see you and know whether you are paying attention to her or not. Not only checking whether you are listening or not. Suppose you have a question, your face changes. Suppose you have a doubt, the teacher can grasp that. And she can ask you, oh, do you have a question? So it is making your body language also getting added to your impressions. The teacher also is equally visible to you. So don't be unseen, don't disappear. There are some students that do not know how to sit in front of a camera. For instance, if I sit in front of the camera like this, it'll be, I think though you are sitting there, I think one, it's training your eye and it's unnecessary. Some people, because they don't know, they go too very far from the camera. They can't be seen. And some people, because they don't know how to position their camera properly, they sit like this. So all that you can see is maybe their head, their hair, or maybe something else. All right? If there is any hair on the head, they can see that. So otherwise, the face cannot be seen. So don't do that. Don't sit too very close, too very far. Don't sit at the wrong angle. And in case you are logged in from a telephone, a mobile phone, suppose you hold it in your hand, it's very unstable, it's shaky. So when it's vibrating, shaking, moving, unstable, so it is a lot of strain to the other person who is watching you. So you must be, preferably you can either buy, for 100 rupees you get a very good tripod in the market. So you can buy it, or you can just position your phone in such a way that it's fixed in one place. You can even put a stack of books, and then you can arrange them in such a way that the phone is in a fixed place and you sit in front. Like a class again, in a physical class, what do? Right, you sit erect, you sit respectfully, you sit attentively, you sit focused. The same thing applies to a virtual class also. Don't sit in a bad posture, in an indecent manner. And some people, what do? They switch on the camera and they go around doing things, right? As if you were watching a cooking program, a recipe making program. No, you're not. You are attending to a class. Again, remember a physical class. What would you do? You sit attentively. So this is not time for you to attend to regular family chores. You must sit here. And some of the people, what do? They sit in front of the camera. Some of them are making themselves up. Some of them are grooming. Some of them are adjusting their tie or shirt or whatever. Recently, as I was invited to a school students program, I was asked to address some motivational presentation. There were some, I think, 9th, 10th class children. There is one girl who had, I could see on the camera, she had a lipstick stick with her, and then she was very frequently, every 2 minutes, she would apply it. And then because she could see herself on the camera, she was, I think, doing all kinds of those gestures, and she was looking into the camera and making herself up. So, young children, they do not know that is bad etiquette. Somebody must tell them. It's not good manners. Whatever, in case they want to apply lipstick, of course, that perhaps at that age is not necessary at all. But even if they want to do it, they must have finished it before the class began. Maybe adjusting their clothes, this thing, that thing. All these are extremely distracting to other students and also to the teacher. Other students also are watching, So if you do some silly, some mischievous thing like that, everybody will look at you, they laugh, and then they make noise, and then it's absolutely distracting to the teacher. It's not only bad manners, it is offensive. Please don't do that. When you sit in front of the camera, please behave. Pay attention. Absolutely focused. The camera and perhaps the screen. Nothing else must be visible. You must be able to see only those two things. Right? And the more attention you pay, the more purposeful your presence is. Otherwise, sitting in front of the camera also is useless. Please don't do that. Then, in meeting, chat box. There is a chat box. I asked you to type no, yes or no in the beginning of the class. So there is a chat box. The chat box not only is for typing yes, no, but it serves many different purposes. What are some of the purposes the host can enable it and disable it? I think now you are all allowed to chat in the chat box, but whatever you write there is seen by everybody. If you are senior, responsible adult learners, there is another provision. You can chat with each other, but you must be responsible. You must convince your teacher that you will use it very productively and usefully. So interaction with one student with another must also be productively, purposefully, meaningful. Isn't it? If that's so, perhaps it can be enabled. But otherwise, typically in a class like this, chat is enabled in a limited way. What is that limited way? You can chat. That means whatever you type there is visible to everybody, including the admin, the host, the co-host, and everybody, the presenters, the panelists, and everybody. But if individual private chat is enabled, you can speak to one single person. Right? That's maybe in future, as you grow up as responsible virtual users, then you can ask questions. I think 90, 95, 99% of the students do not have the habit of asking questions, both in physical classes and more so in virtual classes. The best students are those who have questions to ask, who have good questions, relevant questions to ask. A student who joins a course like this and is there for 3 years in the class and he just sits in the class, listens to the lectures, and after 3 years passes the examination, takes a degree and goes away, has wasted his time. He never asked a question. The quality of a student, the participation, the student's participation, is judged typically by, is typically judged by the questions that they ask. An intelligent person is one who has good questions. If you don't ask any question, why are you there? Right? But the chat box serves that purpose. You can make a comment. This lesson is good. This should have been like this. I wish you had thrown light on that area also. I have a different suggestion, something like that. You can offer feedback to the teacher. Madam, this lesson was really very interesting today. Madam, tomorrow please cover this also. Sir, so I would like to add this point also. There is a great resource I think will be useful to all of us. Some feedback. Then there is another provision which many of us do not use. I'll show you how. So the chat box can also allow you to share a file. So there is one file, there is one poster here on the right side. I'll just show you how to share that. Just give me one moment. I'm closing this. I'm stopping sharing. I'm going to the chat box. Right. I want to share a file with you, with everybody. I think this is disabled here, but anyway, it's okay. Can you, Jalandhar, will you please
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Any help needed?
Yeah, I need to share a file with them, share a poster.
Yes, you can put share, right?
No, it's not allowing it.
Is it? Just a minute. I will check it out. I'll check it out.
Right, anyway, we'll go back to that and I'll come back to it later. What I was telling you is that you can share a poster also. Suppose the teacher has a folder, the teacher has a file, the teacher has a handout, the teacher has some information that students can take home, an assignment. So I would like to post it on the chat box. What can happen? So once I put it on the chat box, all students can download it at their own places onto their systems and they can attend to that later. How wonderful that is. So chat box also serves that purpose. So in case, I think this tip is more useful for the teachers than for the students. And if teachers know this, they can use it that way. Right. And chat box also has its own guidelines. Don't overuse it just because the chat box is there. Suppose you go on, I see hundreds of students logging in first. They just say, good morning, good morning, good morning, hello, hi, how are you, etc., etc., etc. They don't even write their name. And their name is, sometimes the number of their telephone or some other name, some other pen name, anonymous name, some Akash Ramana. Don't do that. And remember, everything that you write in the chat box is a permanent record. It can be retrieved. Right? It can be seen. Who posted what? Right? Like suppose, imagine you have a physical class and there is some camera behind and then you go and write something on the board and disappear. The camera has captured it. Later, the principal can see who wrote on the board and what. Similarly, here also, I can download all the chat, every word, every sentence that was written, and I can identify who wrote that. So be careful. And edit that, make corrections, don't make mistakes while writing. So spelling, grammar, sentence structure, and then be very, perfect when you post it. Avoid anything objectionable, anything bad, anything indecent, right? And this is not a Facebook page. Chat box is not a Facebook. This is not an instant messenger, for one-to-one contact. This is for, interacting with the teacher or interacting with other students on matters relating to the subject that's being discussed. So be careful. And this good morning, etc. can be avoided. Instead, suppose you arrive at a class early, you can introduce yourself. Instead of that good morning, you can say, oh, I'm so-and-so, I'm first year BSc student. I'm a student of first year BSc. So you can introduce yourself. That would be better than that simple good morning. Right? Anything irrelevant should be avoided. There are hundreds of students, but still it's not very difficult to make out who is chatting what. And the last point in my first list is be very courteous. Courteous means polite, respectful. Imagine, though you are working on the virtual platform, still believe that you are participating in a physical classroom. The same rules apply here also. Though platform is different, there are some advantages and disadvantages, right? Both of them are synchronous, both of them are happening at the same time. The teacher is speaking and the students are listening to the teacher at the same time there and here. Right? The only thing is physically we are separated, but the class structure is the same. So here also, just because the teacher is not there, don't think, oh, I can do whatever I want. You cannot afford to be disrespectful either to the teacher or to the other students. So imagine that you are face to face and behave the same way. Avoid bad comments, bad jokes, a harsh tone, a rude, harsh tone against anybody, right? Even if you're not there. And also always make it a habit to use, the social lubricants like please, thank you, excuse me, madam, will you please explain that again? Thank you for that class. Thank you for explaining that point to me. Excuse me, I have a question. So suppose you add these words, your language becomes really very beautiful, right? Just those little words, make your language very impressive and your conversation really touching. So make it a habit. English language has such beautiful words, luckily for us. So use them plenty, abundantly, as frequently as possible. That makes your conversation very, very interesting and polite. Okay, let's watch this short video. Whatever I told you is again there in this 1.5 minute video, but it's beautiful. That's why I'd like to show it to you, and then watch this, and then we'll discuss this later. No. Yes.
Would you like something to eat?
No, thank you. I'm doing my schoolwork.
I've chosen this short video clip because there is a little girl telling us all these things. I don't think we, being adult students, need to be told by anybody else. These are very simple, basic things, basic courtesies that we need to play. Simple matters of etiquette, right? What should be done? What should not be done? So let's all practice that, and let's take a simple quiz. What we'll do is I'll post a question on your wall, and you have to vote. Let me first explain it to you, and then you can do that. Before I launch the poll, I'll explain. I have a question for you. So one second, just give me a moment. Okay, so I'm going to show you. I think you can see on screen already. Is the poll visible, Jalandhar?
No, sir, it's like a black spot.
Will you please launch it from your screen?
Okay, sir.
Poll 1.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, there is going to be a question appearing on the screen, and there are a few answers. You can give your vote to any one of the answers. The question is, which of these is good advice? There are 4 pieces of advice, but 3 are bad advice. 1 is good advice. The first answer is eat and drink during the class. And 2, assignments are not very important. And 3, assignments, sorry, I think the answer has come twice. Maybe it's a typing error, I think. And the 4th one is be focused and attentive. So give your attention while you are in the class. So you can choose any one of the 4 answers and let me know whether you've followed the advice that little girl has given us. I'm very happy that 100% of you are giving the right answer, but I think only 150 people have voted so far out of the 250. I think everybody must vote. This is not a very difficult question. I'll give you 30 seconds more. Wonderful. Really good. I'm so happy for all of you. I think you're all bright students. Keshav Memorial is lucky to get good students like this. Okay, Jalandhar, will you please stop the poll now?
Yes, sir.
Stop the poll and show the results.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. 174 people have voted, and all 174 people have got the answer correct. Congratulations. So what's the correct answer? The correct answer is When you are in online class, be focused. Pay your attention. Look into the camera. Follow what the teacher is telling you. Do the same thing that you do in a regular class. Get the best out of the class. Let the teacher's effort that happens in the class not go waste. Right? Be as focused as possible. Jalandhar, please close the poll.
Second poll?
No, not now.
Yes.
Yes, close it.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay, let's move on from here. So these are the questions. I think one of the answers was wrong. Use many devices simultaneously. Okay, that's fine. Right. So I have another maybe 10 to 15 minutes left. That's what I'll do is I'll very quickly go through some more points, some more guidelines. This is not a part of etiquette, but this is some very useful, simple guides that will help you when you are sitting in a virtual class. So choosing the ideal place, using your laptop, etc., etc. I'll explain each one of them to you. The first one, choose the ideal place at your home for your class. What is ideal place? Ideal place at your home. I know many of you live in small houses. Many of you may not have a lot of privacy. Many of you may have some physical discomfort when you have to attend these classes. Maybe your mother, your father, your brother, sister, all of you are vying with each other for physical space. There are constraints, I know. Even I am deliberately sitting in a place which is not very large, which has my bed at the back, and then which is a little cluttered, not very much. I can use a virtual background, but I'm deliberately not doing it. I want to tell you what you can make the most out of things that are available. So avoid as many distractions as possible. If you turn the camera a little, if you just adjust a few things, I think you can make the most of the place that's available to you. Please see, wherever there's plenty of light. The light must always fall on your face. I showed you another picture earlier, no? So there were some teachers sitting in dark places. I could not see their faces. So if the light is directly falling on your face, the teachers can see. The light must always be in your front, a little higher than your face. Suppose the light comes from the sides or from the back, there'll be a glare on the screen. People cannot see you, even if there is light. So turn your camera in such a way or move in such a way that there is plenty of light on your face and people can see it. And as far as possible, whatever is there in the background, if some adjustments can be made, please do that. If you cannot make it, it's okay. And maybe the teacher, the principal, perhaps are sitting in their offices where lots of files are there, lots of things are piled up there. You cannot just move them away all. You cannot wish it away. So, or maybe you are in a small house, a single room tenement, and maybe there are lots of things in the background. You cannot avoid that. It's okay. But as far as possible, avoid that clutter. And see that your focus is complete and total. Okay, let's take another poll. Jalandhar, if you are ready, I'm stopping sharing. Please launch the second poll.
Yes, sir. Sure.
Again, I'm going to give you one question and 5 answers. You have to choose any one of the 5 answers. Out of the 5 answers, only one is correct. Remember, this can be a little misleading.
Shall I
think please.
Shall I launch the poll?
Please do it.
Yes.
So the question is, please wait for a second. Let me explain it to you. Question is, which place is ideal at your home for a virtual class? Study room, if you have one, bedroom, if you have one, backyard, veranda. But the last answer says any place which is not cluttered, which is well lighted, and which is comfortable. Please think carefully before you answer. I told you this can be a little misleading, but if you apply your mind, I'm sure. I think all of you have started understanding the question. I don't think you can change your answer once you poll it. But anyway, it's fine. I think most of you are right. Some 20 people have gone wrong only because they did not wait till I explained the question to you. They hurried a little. I'll wait for 30 seconds because this question is not really very difficult, but it's a little misleading. Good. I think some 170 people have polled so far. I'll wait till I think it becomes 200. Another 20 people to poll. Good. Maybe some students are not paying attention. Maybe they have switched off their cameras. I don't know. I think it's getting stuck at 182. What is happening to the remaining 60, 70 students? Where are they?
They are unstable.
Yeah. Yes. So we can catch you red-handed like this. So you cannot cheat us. There can be a poll anytime, and then I can find out who is. And I'll come to one more important point a little later. Right. I think 194. Jalendra, you can stop it now.
Yes, sir.
And show the results.
Okay.
Oh, 196. That's good. That's really wonderful. So we have 196 votes polled. I think almost everybody has polled. And 72% of you have got the answer right. All 72% of you have started polling a little after I explained the question to you. The remaining 26% went wrong, not because they did not know the answer, but they started answering a little too very hastily. Anyway, that's okay. So the answer is, you can choose any place. The kitchen is okay, the bedroom is okay, the backyard is okay, the veranda is okay, any place is okay, provided there is plenty of light falling on your face, provided it's cloudy. It's, I think, comfortable to you. You can sit down there and then work, provided there's not much background noise, etc. So provided it allows you a comfortable place, right? So I'm stopping the poll and then I'm going back to my presentation. Yeah. Right. So this was the question that I asked you, and I told you that any place is okay, and as long as it's well lighted, etc. So you can see some pictures at the bottom. I think you can see these pictures. So the second picture, there are two children sitting here in the kitchen, but they are working on a computer, a small smartphone, and they are working on their school assignment. These two people on the third picture are sitting on a cot. Right? On a cot, inside there is a lot of clutter behind, which cannot be avoided. But still, see how studious they are, how engaged in the learning process they are. They cannot be distracted by anybody. See, such a small house, maybe one room. Everything is there in that room. The background is completely clogged, but still they are paying such attention. I love this last picture. See, this little boy in the open with that book with a smartphone in his hand. See, all ears, all eyes, full attention. I think is a good lesson to all of us. I think all of us are adults, senior students, engaged in the learning process. We have a certain purpose in our mind. We have great goals. We want to achieve something big in life. And if we don't pay attention to our class, what is it that we have? So please, I think, make most of the virtual classes that you attend. Here, of course, is a veranda. It's not a veranda, it's a, what do you call it? It's a payol. So there is an arugu outside the house, and they're all seated here, taking care of the corona times and paying attention to that, working on their smartphones and also textbooks. See, this is all really lovely. It's so very inspiring to see such little children doing such wonderful participation in the classes. Okay, this is important. So I think I have seen lots of students, teachers, presenters, admins, hosts finding it difficult because they don't charge their mobile phones fully, they don't charge their laptops fully, something goes wrong in the middle. So in case your mobile phone, suppose you have not put it in the silent mode, and maybe suddenly it rings and suddenly it distracts your attention. Suppose your teacher receives a telephone call during a class, how do you feel? Don't you think that teacher, I think, is ill-mannered? So a teacher cannot have the phone ringing inside the class. If she is expecting a very important call, she can at least put it in the silent mode or the vibration mode. The same way, if you have your mobile phones ringing in the class, or maybe you are stealthily saying something on your mobile phone, I think it's the same thing, no? I think you should not do that. Okay, so have enough power backup. So I think many of you may have some power backup, like UPS, or maybe you have a power bank. I don't know, whatever. Otherwise, at least fully charged. And sit very close to a power plug point where, in case necessary, you can plug in again and then you can have constant power source. And this is something very, very tough in many small towns. Even in Hyderabad also, the signal is not always strong. Your mobile phone is there. Maybe you have data available, but the signal is very weak. What happens? So your phone works in one room and it does not work in another room. Even within the room, sometimes when you change the position, the signal is weak. So identify the place where the signal is continuously strong and the Wi-Fi connectivity is there. Suppose you have Wi-Fi at home, so sit as close to the Wi-Fi router as possible. Now I am sitting in this room, my Wi-Fi router is just next to me. That's where the signal is reasonably strong. So take care of these little things also so that your classes become productive. Finally, take care of the assignments. I don't want to spend time on this. I have almost finished my time. That's why in case the teacher gives you any assignments, pay attention and answer them immediately. So I'll stop there. But last slide, I have a warning. I think this is a warning. I call it a warning. All students, please remember, anything that you do online, on Facebook, on WhatsApp, on a virtual class, in the chat box, anywhere, any kind, is not confidential, is not private. Anybody with a little common sense can extract it anytime. Suppose you send some indecent message, some provocative message, some disruptive message, right? Some vulgar message or some such thing. Wherever, either in the Facebook or in the college version, it can be identified. There are ways of identifying. Tomorrow, if you finish your BCom or BSc and go for a job, a government job particularly, the police can extract what you posted on Facebook 5 years ago, 10 years ago. It's possible. WikiLeaks and all that, I think some of you know, those who read the newspaper. So even what the prime ministers and presidents of countries are interacting with each other was in public domain. WikiLeaks was that. Right? So don't think, oh, I can send this message to this girlfriend. I can send this message to this boyfriend. I can write this nonsense about that teacher. I can do something about this. I can write some nonsense about some political party, some religion or whatever. And then if you get caught, your future is saved. You can buy yourself a lot of risk. So one simple logical conclusion make to yourself is whatever you can do in public, you're not afraid of doing in public, do only that in private also. So if you do something, you must be bold enough to do that publicly also. Otherwise, don't do it. Be safe. Don't share your passwords. Of course, you're all educated people, I did not tell you, but still lots of educated people also are losing money, losing documents, losing secrecy, losing privacy. I think there are cameras all over. Maybe 5-10 years ago, if I broke a rule on the road, nobody would know. But today, the policeman need not be there. Somebody is capturing breaking the rule, and then I can get a notice home saying that I broke the rule, that's why I must pay fine, and I cannot escape that. I'm just giving one simple example. So nothing is private. Don't think, oh, because I am doing it in dark, because nobody is seeing me, I'm not seen. Even if you are doing something in the dark privacy of your home, you still can be caught. So this is my last warning. Be safe and be good. So that's all I have today. Tell you about this etiquette for the virtual classes. I wish you a very, 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 very happy, successful, rewarding, productive, useful learning times while you are at the Keshav Memorial during the next 3 years. Wish you all the best. Thank you very much. There are still 218 students. I think I am really very happy. Only some 30, 40 out of them, some of them perhaps have been teachers and others also. It's good. So 218 students at the end, 219 students at the end of the class is really good. Happy. Thank you. Wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, sir, for that very interesting session. Our chat box is also saying the same thing. They felt that it is very useful and very interesting. I hope the message will be taken very clearly and understood. It is not just for listening, but for implementing, I believe. Thank you very much, sir, for that interest you have shown for this session. Now I think it is time for us to have some questions that are posed by the students. Only few are there, not many. It's regarding can you please share some tips? Of course, you have already shared many tips, in fact, for the online classes. But how should I maintain time management? How should I maintain? Okay, the sentence is the problem here. But anyway, he is Anand Rao who is asking this question, how to manage time.
Anand Rao, thank you for asking that question. Time management is a big topic. That's an exclusive topic by itself. Maybe some other time when your principal perhaps invites me to a college, I'll discuss that. But one small thing, I gave you one tip already. Use a scheduler. Use a reminder. Your mobile phone has a built-in reminder. So it tells you, suppose you have a program at your it gives an alarm and it tells you, oh, you have a class at 10:30, please attend. That's enough to begin with. Just start using that, your life will change. Right?
Thank you very much, sir. That is very useful. I think most of the students should follow it. They may know it, but they may not be using it. But it is right time for them now to use it because they shouldn't be missing all the classes that are going to be done surely. So there is one more thing. When we attend online class, do we need to wear shirts?
Oh, yes, of course. Choice. A t-shirt with collar and pocket is preferred. A collarless t-shirt, I think, is informal. I think that's not good for class, right? Personally, I prefer a complete full dress. Trousers also. People may not see your trousers. People may not see what you are wearing down below, but still, if you wear it, your own confidence level will be very high. Imagine when you are dressed well, no? What will be your confidence like? It will be good. Suppose you're badly dressed, you are, I think, scantily dressed. I think your confidence to that extent will be very low. And like I told you that joke about the national anthem, something may happen. So be cautious. Wear a shirt compulsorily. And young students like you must start wearing full sleeves. And I told you they need not be expensive dresses. Even if you have one or two shirts also, I think you must keep them clean and you must keep them neat and you must wash them frequently. Don't depend on your mother and sister. You can wash them yourself. Your girl, boy, whatever you are. So you can do it yourself. You can keep them clean and neat and look good. When you look good, your personal esteem increases, people's esteem of you also enhances.
Right. Thank you, sir. That answers that they should be dressed well, whatever the class they are in. So there is also one more thing. When a student is getting a doubt, do our faculty clear the doubt by turning on the camera privately or in class?
I'm not the right person to answer that question. Maybe your principal or your admin or your teacher will answer that question. But as far as I know, typically, many colleges allow students to have their cameras on and the microphones are generally switched off. And when the teacher allows the students to ask questions or answer questions, microphones can be unmuted. In fact, at about 9:45 today morning, I asked Jalandhar if the microphones are going to be muted or unmuted. He told me this is not Zoom meeting, this is Zoom webinar, And that's why they have a facility to switch off the cameras and switch off the mobile for the microphones of people. And only, I think you can see only 5 or 6 cameras here. This is a special piece. This is a webinar. This is not a meeting. Webinars are different. Meetings are different. Webinars are for, they're just like public meetings. In public meetings, everybody does not participate. You only go to attend a lecture, a presentation. So this is that kind of a meeting. But tomorrow your classes are not going to be like that. Your classes must be interactive. Classes must be student-centered. Students must have plenty of opportunity for interacting, asking questions, answering questions, raising doubts, seeking clarifications. That's the whole purpose of the class. No? Otherwise, I told you already, a distance education course will be as good. So a better answer will be given by the college.
Actually, it should be, camera should be open, sir. Camera should be on. Yes. Then only teacher can understand their facial expressions, feelings, and their attention. Some of our teachers do not allow them if they unmute the camera and the mic. So that is the best tradition what I feel in this online system of education.
Right. That's why I said video on, mic off. Remember that. Yeah. Teachers must remember that.
That's why I was asking Jalandhar also, why didn't you unmute all the videos this time? Because previously we never had like this. We have conducted many programs and faculty development program, webinars. He used to show. Now I don't know why Jalandhar this time they are all new, but we want to see their faces. They also are interested to look into one another whenever they are unmuting their videos. That's very good. Jalandhar,
I will try to get that tomorrow, sir.
Tomorrow, you please see that everybody can open his or her video on, so that teacher or the speaker can see them also.
Yes, sir.
And he can also interact with them. That's very, very important.
I will try to do it.
Stand for that.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Camera.
Etiquette madam, please switch on your camera. Unmute yourself.
Start the video. Right. Thank you very much, sir. I think all our faculty members will all be asking them to open their videos when they are coming for the classes. Of course, when there is a doubt that is arising, if it is a private one, they can call the particular teacher and then raise it personally with them. Or if it is possible, if it is regarding any lesson, they can happily ask in the class itself. Maybe that will clear the doubt that others are also having. So it is not going to be a problem. Doubts clearing is one part of the teacher's job, I think. So it will always be done by all the faculty members here. So all the students have to be rest assured about it. We have Sucheta madam here who is wanting to give a feedback for the program. So I invite Sucheta Patanko, head of the Department of Commerce.
With the video only, ma'am.
Video.
But she is not joining.
Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, madam.
Ma'am.
Otherwise, it will become a radio program, not video program.
Yes.
Yeah. It will be better if she will share my screen. Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Very, very happy to listen to you, and I felt that whatever you have talked today, whether it is a be on time, dress appropriately, or be courteous, or whatever warning you have given, this is not only for the 3 years that they are going to be in the college, for their lifetime.
Yes. Right.
And I feel that if they follow this, they will definitely be successful in their life. Thank you, sir.
Feedback from the students. Ma'am, Jalandhar.
Yes, sir.
If any student raises his hand.
Kavita Varak from Head Department of Microbiology.
One thing, sir. Ratan Yash is raising their hand. I'm allowing him to talk.
Okay.
Ratanesh,
Unmute yourself and talk.
Video Nana.
Yeah, Ratan.
Hello, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Hello.
Ratan, go ahead. We can hear you. Yes, go ahead.
What, sir? I did not listen to.
You raised your hand, right? You want to say something about this program?
No, sir. I am talking with my brother. The network problem is happening.
Okay.
Now, what is your feedback on this program? You are a student now. Which group you have joined?
Yes, sir. BCom Business Analyst.
Then we can analyze the program now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What is your feelings?
Happiness, sir. Nothing.
Is it? Is this program useful to in your future for other online classes?
Yes, sir.
That's what you are asking. You are then 1 hour to
class, right?
course class, right? How you are
Yes, sir.
useful in your future to attend online class or not?
Yes, sir. It was peaceful.
Yeah, that's what.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ratan.
Okay, sir.
Any student that announce once, ma'am. If you announce, students will come. Very, very important.
Feedback.
Okay. Kavita wanted to ask a question to our Nagaraju sir regarding teachers teaching online classes.
Good morning, sir, and thank you for very knowledgeable and inspirational talk. It was very interesting, in fact. Sir, I have a question like, does the online classes require any specific college guidelines related to academic integrity and student expectations or any online forums? If there are, just explore. And will this forums may vary from class to class or course to course?
Yes, Kavita, I think there are lots of very highly, extremely well-developed LMSs that your college can use, and these LMSs have built-in features that ensure integrity, credibility, and also confidentiality. So your college, I'm sure your college can afford to buy a good LMS, and you can switch over to that, because virtual classes are going to be a permanent feature even after Corona is conquered, even after the lockdown is 100% lifted. Maybe very soon we are going to have the blended concept of learning. Some classes will be online, some classes will be physical. So with the blended concept to be in force in future, most likely we need a more effective virtual as well as technically highly sophisticated management system, which maintains, as you said, integrity. So maybe your management can consider that and use that. As far as the other features, teacher-related, classroom-related, subject-related, course-related things are concerned, there are plenty of things maybe every teacher must explore on one's own. What you are the judge of your class. I cannot suggest something to you because my class is different, your class is different, my subject is different, your subject is different, my students' abilities and expectations are different and yours are different, and my own skill levels are different and your skill levels are different. So one is not a panacea. One rule does not apply to all. So you have to choose something that suits you best for your class, for your subject. So identify that and begin using that. Every teacher must become an initial student of the virtual technologies. If you say, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know these virtual platforms, I have never used them, I have been taught like this, I taught like that, oh, this is all unknown to me, I think you are out. Somebody else will come and take your place. There is a younger person, there is a more technically sound person, there is a technologically advanced person in the market. He is going to work for you, work in your place for a lower salary. So teachers are going to lose their jobs in case they don't update themselves on the skill levels. But no teacher will ever have a substitute. Teachers do not lose jobs because of technology. Teachers lose jobs because they don't update themselves. So please do that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Sir, it is that always a teacher is a student first. Then only we can say that we are teachers. Otherwise, we are not supposed to be there in the campus itself, because we are the ones who will be shaping the minds of the future of this country. It's a great responsibility that is placed on our heads. So all the teachers, I think, must realize this and then update themselves all the time and see that the charge that is given to them is properly done. I think that is the main duty of any teacher, whoever it may be, whatever the subject they are teaching. Now, I think it is time for us to have the vote of thanks. I invite Dept.of Madam, HOD of Computer Science Department, to propose vote of thanks.
Honorable Chief Guest, Sri.M.Nagaraju Garu, respected Director, Dr. J. Nageshwarrao Garu, respected Principal, Dr. K. Someshwarrao Garu, staff, and my dear students. A very good morning to one and all. On behalf of KMICS, I, Vijita, from Department of Computer Science, take an opportunity to propose vote of thanks on the first day orientation program. First and foremost, I'd like to express my sincere thanks to today's speaker, Sri.M.Nagaraju Garu, for enlightening us with his excellent presentation regarding virtual classes and etiquettes like login timings, dress code, video positioning, chat box, etc., which would be benefit for the present generation. I would like to express my gratitude to our management for their valuable contribution in conducting this type of academic programs. I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to our Director Garu, for Dr. J. Nageshwarrao Garu, for his valuable guidance. I'd like to thank our beloved Principal, Dr. K. Someshwarrao Garu, for his continuous encouragement, support, and commitment towards the academics. Last but not least, I'd like to thank all teaching, non-teaching, technical staff, and participants of various disciplines in conducting today's program very smoothly and making it a grand success. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you very much, sir, from my side as well, for accepting this invitation and making the day for us today. You are an inspiration for me, all the time, very active and very innovative. And whatever you present always is of lot of interest and information at the same time. Thank you.
All of you for this great opportunity. Thanks a lot.
I think we will wait for Jalandhar sir to take a screenshot of all of us, and then we will end the meeting.
Yes, madam. I did it.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Shall I end the meeting?
Yes, sir.
Okay.